And here we go. We have liftoff. Propulsion continues to be nominal.
R68 chamber pressure looks good.
Rolling up. Roger, roll, planet.
Water towers fly! Yes!
Tango down to nominal.
Flight downside FD off. Bring in FD off. Off. It's orange!
145! Oh my god! Oh my god!
Decollage.
What is it?
Put that in the big bag,
343 unfolds to go.
Indeed.
We rise together, back to the moon and beyond.
The methane would be igniting the flare, correct?
Yikes. You dead? Sure. We don't need any more of these.
Hello and welcome to another NSF live stream of a fantastic rocket launch. You're looking at B-1069 on Slick 40 at Cape Canaveral Space Force Station, getting ready to launch a whole bunch of Starlinks into orbit on the 6-66 mission. I'm Jack Beyer for NSF. Welcome. Also joining us today on commentary, we have Mr. Adrian Beil. Adrian, how are you doing?
Yeah, hello everybody. Looking forward to see another Falcon fly here, as you can see there over at the pad. It's always so weird because I always want to say, oh, it's 39A because it's a crew. No, it's not. It's of course 40. So yeah, looking forward to this, and just 53 minutes from now.
Let's go. Any day with a rocket launch is a good day. Speaking of a good day, Julia out there in the field for us, operating this camera, getting it set up. Thank you so much, Julia. Are you having a good day because there's a rocket launch today?
I'm having a fabulous day because the clouds have lifted here on the Space Coast. I'm at Cars Park. The weather is a little chilly for Florida, but still beautiful. And I see more than one rocket on pads today, so that's super exciting as well.
Ooh, okay, wait. We're going to have to talk about that here in a little bit. But
We
first,
can talk.
We got some time. First, I do want to thank Carson for operating today's stream. Thank you, Carson. And yeah, with that, let's get into it. Chat, if you have any questions while we're talking about today's mission or what have you, just type at NASA Spaceflight in chat, and we'll see your question pop up in some software we have running in the background. But yeah, right off the bat, oh, and Gage is operating cameras as well. Don't want to forget Gage. Thank you, buddy. So, Adrian.
Yes.
With this mission, there's a little bit of a weird thing going on with how the T-Zeros and the window are arranged compared to previous Starlinks. Would you care to explain, please?
Absolutely. So in terms of payload and everything, this seems like your normal Starlink, but there's a change how they approach the window here. So how usually Starlink windows works is you have an opening of the window, you have a closing of the window, and then you have several T-Zeros spreaded throughout that window, right? Like it's pretty, like that's what we have observed now for several years. With this now, we have what I will refer you to as mini windows. So, for example, let me actually put up the exact numbers here because I want to make sure I get this correct. We have the primary window. The primary window for today is 1607 UTC to 1624 UTC. And in that, there are several mini time stems in which it could launch. And basically, that goes all out with then, because then we have another window of a few, basically a few 20, 30 minutes. And in that, there's another bunch of T-Zeros. So we now don't have any more that one big window with a few T-Zeros, but we have more like a mini window to mini window to mini window that they are targeting, and in these there's always a few more T-Zeros. It's a bit different to how we have usually observed it. Of course, in consequence, it still means they will target one of these potential T-Zeros. And of course, since it's Falcon 9, they can only target one T-Zero once they go for prop loading, because that will lock them in for the day. So in consequence, not that much change, but for the observation of like the fine little details, that's an interesting change.
It's all very straightforward and not at all extremely complicated and confusing, but yes,
No.
it is quite a change. Okay, Julia, let's talk a little bit about today's booster, if we can. It's B1069, is it not? Dash 20? It's flown. This will be its 20th flight.
Yeah, you are correct. It will be the 20th flight of B1069. It started its missions with CRS-24, which was on December 21st, 2021. So almost a 3-year-old booster. Has also flown Hotbird 13F, OneWeb 15, SES 18 and 19, and 15 Starlink missions. So this booster has primarily been a Starlink booster.
Fantastic. I'm seeing Alex say in our back channel that this is the 7th booster that will reach 20 flights.
Isn't that absolutely bonkies?
It is bonkies. It is. I mean, it makes me happy. It fills me with joy. Not only because Falcon 9 is kicking so much butt right now, but also because, I mean, hey, I'm sitting here in Starbase. It makes me think of Starship. Like when Starship gets to this point, that's gonna be wild. What do you think the first ship to reach 20 flights is gonna be?
I mean,
I don't think they've even produced that ship yet, Jack.
Oh, no way.
no way. I think it will be like somewhere in the 70s, 60s, somewhere. I would say even later, because you can argue that. So we are right now at Starship 30, 31, 32, 33, somewhere in that range.
Yeah, they're building in the factory. You can see right now they're building the nose cones for 35,
Yep.
36, and 37.
Yep, and we are kind of approaching the phase where Falcon 9 boosters started to be reused, right? So I would say in the curve we are a bit behind in terms of if you compare Falcon 9 serial numbers to Starship serial numbers. So I would expect like a 20-year reusability. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if it's somewhere in the 70s, 80s. And that's okay. Like they build like once a month.
Yeah, I mean, oh man, what time frame do you think? I'm sorry, I'm going down the Starship rabbit hole here, but hey, they just had another launch, so it's on the brain. How long do you think until we see a Starship hit 20 flights? Like 20, 30 something?
2020, I will say 2027, 2028.
That seems really early.
Yeah, but you have to remember, I mean, throwing this back to Julia, because she will observe a lot of these, the Artemis flights and the required tanker flights for that. I mean, there will be a lot of launches from the Cape for Starship.
That's true.
Right now we are talking all about Boca, but let's be real. The real stage for Starship, that's here. That's the Cape.
How does that make you feel, Julia? Are you excited?
That's when I'll start getting excited about Starship. I love y'all at Starbase, but once it comes here, then I'll put my feet in that game a bit more because it's going to get crazy. You've got a range that is very knowledgeable to support a cadence that includes multiple launch providers and multiple launches from different paths. So I feel good about that.
Excellent. What's going on with recovery for B1069?
Well, I can tell you a little bit about that too. Last time I was here at CARS, by the way, there were 3 boosters in port. Right now, there's 2 boosters in port, and between them, there have been 34 flights. So get this, between the 2 boosters that are in port right now and their 34 flights, it beats the 3 boosters in port last time I was here because they only had 33 between them. So there's a crazy thing to think about.
So cool.
But as far as today's mission, we've got a Shortfall of Gravitas doing the booster recovery and Doug doing fairing recovery. They're going to go about 600 kilometers downrange to do this, and they're going to launch this booster on a southeast trajectory, which, by the way, y'all, from where I am, you'll get a different view of that booster going downrange because we'll get to see it more like a profile instead of the booster end. So kind of cool.
Oh,
Jack?
that's going to be fantastic. What's up, Adrian?
Jack, isn't it amazing how many different trajectories and corridors the Cape can cover? Isn't that cool? Like
Oh wow,
all of these
we've got it
different
all.
Yeah. Basically,
We've
you
got
don't need any other launch sites than the Cape anymore because
Uh-huh.
Cape can just do it all.
Uh-huh.
Cape can do south. Cape can
Uh-huh.
do southeast, east,
Yeah.
northeast. Just saying.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty cool.
Polar.
I mean,
Polar, no
Vandy's kind of
problem.
cool. You can do south, but we one-upped you, and now we can do south
Is-
again too.
Adrian, is this your revenge for the spiders?
Yes.
Wow.
Well, you know what? I still like Vandenberg, so Southern Polar
Yeah.
Corridor, it exists, yes. The cool thing is the trajectory, though, that Julia mentioned. Depending on where you watch a rocket launch from, it's not always the same. Sometimes the rocket goes up and away from you. Sometimes the rocket goes up and sort of past you, which is always a treat. The same thing happens on the West Coast. The West Coast, when you are in the right spot. Like in particular, like Santa Ynez Peak or Gaviota Park or some of those spots along the coast to the south of Annenberg, you get that profile shot, and it's really cool because the rocket, it's almost like your launch experience lasts longer because the rocket goes past you rather than just straight away from you. Pretty neat.
I totally agree. When
it's
I'm here,
go ahead.
yeah, when I'm here, I agree. It feels like I'm watching it actively a lot longer. I don't know. There's just something about it that's special.
The same thing sort of happens here in Starbase too, where if you're watching from like the Rocket Ranch outpost sort of angle, then the rocket mostly goes away from you, although there's a little bit of side profile element. But if you're on Isla Blanca Park, it's very much more side on. Is that right, D? D's sitting across from me. Just say yes.
Yes.
Thank you, D. All right, let's do some let's do some questions. How about?
Yeah, I mean, we can totally answer questions about which is the better coast and stuff. Yeah. Sorry, I'm so spicy today. I don't know why.
No, I
That's
like
totally
it.
unnecessary.
No, I like it. I'm a big fan. I'm exhausted from everything. So you coming out on the attack is like you're matching my energy. I'm liking it. Z16 Jim is asking, where's a good place to see a launch from in Florida? Julia, this is a Julia question if I've ever heard one. We did a video about this, didn't we? They should watch
We
that
did
video.
do a whole video about this, but I currently am showing you the view from Cars Park, which is one of Kennedy Space Center's properties that they open up to the public. It's a campground, and they open it up to the public for launches for roughly, on average, $5 a car. If you're talking a return to landing zone 1 or Falcon Heavy launch, they sometimes do make this like a $10 venue, but it's well worth it, y'all. So this is Cars Park. We also have Port Canaveral or Jetty Park. Titusville is a great place to watch a launch. You got to watch the video because it kind of depends on what launch you are viewing that day is going to give you the better view. Today, Playa Linda would be another option as well.
Nice.
Yeah. Sorry to give an answer, non-answer, but we have a video and there's no, right answer to that question.
It's always tricky, right? You never know what the weather's going to do. Depending on the direction of the wind, the sound, or the exhaust plume could go different ways.
I could have a very different experience than the team when they're on Cape, right? It all
Yeah.
depends on those clouds.
Yeah, I'll never forget the in-flight abort test of Dragon. I was at the press site, and
And you didn't see nothing.
Yeah, the lone evil dark cloud floated over the pad at the last second, and we saw Falcon 9 go into the cloud, like essentially right, like moments before the explosion. Versus, I had friends over on like the Max Brewer Bridge who saw the whole dang thing, or people that were on the boats with like Starfleet Tours, they saw the whole thing.
Uh-huh. I would be one of the ones on the boat with DOS, and we saw it
Nice.
all.
Nice. You
What
saw it
was
all?
the-
Oh, I'm so jealous.
I saw it all.
What was
I'm
that
so
one?
jealous.
Wasn't that this one cursed Falcon Heavy flight that nobody saw because there was just this huge fog layer around the Cape?
Yeah, that was our Vandy moment. It was one of the last Falcon Heavies I actually got to see with Chris G, and we were all standing on the
Aw.
roof of the hut, looking at each other and listening to a rocket go, which, Jack, I don't envy you. That's not a fun launch experience.
You know, Vandenberg gets a lot of crud for the fog, and there is a lot of fog. But there's not that much. I mean, a good chunk of the year, it's not a problem. Don't make those sounds. Don't you make those sounds at me.
Well, I'll take my view today. How about that?
Good deal.
My view's good.
Thank you for bringing us this view, Julia. We appreciate it. While we have stolen Max and D to the Gulf Coast, shall we say?
Fine, I got this. I mean, like I said, I have multiple rockets on pads. I can see them all, so whatever.
Nice.
You can keep them.
What is the other rocket on the pad that you can see? Can you show us it?
I certainly can.
I think that would result in a bit in a wobbly camera, right?
Yeah, a little bit of wobble camera, but that's fine. I mean, we're giving
Just
viewers
be prepared for the camera to move, and then the viewers can see. We can give a little tour of the grounds here.
We switched to one of the SCL cams, so pan on over and then we'll switch back.
Perfect.
Carson working his magic in the background.
Thanks, Carson.
Because
I don't want to make everybody dizzy.
While we do that, really quick, Adrian, where are we at in the count and the timeline?
Absolutely. We are kind of just a minute away from crunch time here. Oh, we have the countdown timeline. There we go. 38 minutes before the launch. Of course, the launch director will verify go for propellant load, which we then will start to observe just 3 minutes later, where stage 1 RP1 loading and stage 1 LOX loading will begin, and also loading of stage 2 RP1. Then, of course, we will see the transition on the second stage 20 minutes before launch, which is also referred here as LOX chill down, where we will get the wrapping up of RP1 load on the second stage, and they will transition into stage 2 LOX load, which is loaded basically one after another. And then we are already in the terminal count. We will see the engine chill, we will see the strong back retract, and we will see hopefully Falcon 9 proceeding to startup and launch. So that's your program for the 38 minutes from now. And we of course hope that we will see everything going smoothly from here on out.
Indeed.
Look at that.
What do we have here? Oh my goodness, it's Glenny.
It's Glenny. I have a good view of Glenny.
Yeah, that's a really good view. Heck yeah, Julia, thank you for that.
You're welcome. I think this is actually a better view than Jetty Park, just saying.
I'm
going to remember this little bit of information I have acquired.
That's going to be a beautiful shot, especially when it goes vertical. I'm so excited for New Glenn.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
New Glenn.
Yeah, I'm excited for New Glenn. It's going to be one heck of a launch, and definitely one not to be missed. All right, Julia, you can give us some more Falcon 9, if you will, please.
Absolutely.
Excited. I want to point out the fact that we have, in the team, we have NSF team shirts, and you can put your name below that. And you can put like everything you want to below that. So far, nobody has abused that system that you can just put everything below that, besides one person.
Until now.
One person has an NSF team shirt that says Glenny.
I wonder who that is.
Jack.
It's funny because I was in the little plug-in or whatever where you make the crew shirts, and I made 3. I made one that said bacon, one that said Glenny, and I forget what the last one said. Oh yeah, the last one was Conky.
Conky.
But when I got to the checkout, I was like, oh, and so I only got one. So consider yourselves lucky. I only got one.
Well, I am wearing my crew sweatshirt today.
Nice.
Nice.
It's perfect weather for that. So
today is the first day of sweatpants weather in Brownsville in Starbase. Like I'm wearing sweatpants right now. I wore a beanie last night because my head was cold. Like oh my gosh. It's not insanely hot, you guys. Yay. I get to wear sweaters.
We're at that happy time of year where the humidity is going down, and yes, I think we're sharing the same cold front there, Jack.
Heck yeah. All right, let's thank some people really quick. Pro Diamond, thank you for the support. They say I wonder if this launch is going to be scary. Nah, don't worry about it. It's just I assume you're mentioning the number. It's just a number. It's fine. Flippers, what's up, dude? thank you for the super chat. They say, about payload, Adrian, how many more squirrels can fit in a Falcon 9 payload as opposed to a Starship? That's a lot of math. They just want
It's
to
a lot
hear
of
you say it.
yeah. I will dance for the chat again and say scroll.
Excellent. Thank you. Kirby,
This
thank you for the support. They say, aloha, everyone. Great view of the Cape. Nice.
boat.
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 I'm glad I'm not the only one that does that.
Hey, you know what that boat is though? It's actually kind of cool. What you just saw pass our cameras, they're very close to me, to be exact, which is why I know what they are. They're part of one of the NASA programs, the ecological program, to be
Oh,
exact.
neat.
And we do talk about how launches impact the Cape and the area around it, and they appear to be doing kind of a water survey right now, and picking up some data pods that they had left in the water here.
Neat. Yay, science. Also, Bideford, thank you for gifting 5 Red Team memberships. Thank you, Bideford. Jaren, I'm sorry if I'm... Oh, it's going back by. Oh, that's really
Figured I'd
cool.
give
Thank
you
you. Yeah,
a
no,
view of
thank
the
you for
boats.
They got the meatball on there and everything. Heck yeah. What do you think is the silliest vehicle in NASA's fleet? Like, what is the silliest vehicle that NASA owns to have a meatball on the side of it? Like,
Ares 1.
oh, jeez.
Wow.
Adrian, you are on the ball today, my guy.
Yeah, I got it.
Got him.
I mean, you asked what's the silliest vehicle with a meatball on the side. I think Ares 1 qualifies.
I was trying to think of like a little dinky cart looking thing or a street sweeper, but no, you went straight for the jugular. I like it. That was good. There's really no better answer.
No, I'm thinking about like what else looked funky.
Holy crap, Michael Seeley? Dude, what's up? 1999 super chat. Thank you so much. They say to buy Jack his bacon shirt. You all equal cool. No, you equal cool, Michael. Thank you.
Michael, you equal cool.
Seriously, one of my favorite people at the Cape. Thank you, man. That's really sweet of you. We might have to do some cooking of bacon tomorrow, after Flame Trench during the post show. If you're not a member of the Discord, get in the post show because I think D and I tomorrow are gonna do another bacon cook-off. And by bacon cook-off, I mean I'm going to cook bacon and D is going to burn a significant portion of the bacon that they cook, except for some which will come out pretty good, but a lot will be burned.
Are we ignoring the camera operation that I'm doing as I'm burning this bacon? Are you just gonna slam?
Every time they try and bring up the camera thing, but nope, they burn bacon. All right, let's move on. I love hosting.
Well,
Jared,
I mean, before we move on from bacon, can we talk about should we all do like a holiday bake-off little, maybe members stream? There can be bacon involved in this as a snack as well if you want.
I would
would-
be in.
Oh, imagine like the big NSF, just a member stream of us in the kitchen and everybody, and like just baking some cookies. It would be fun. I would join that. I'm bad at baking, but at least somebody would provide some burning spices.
Oh man, yeah, no, I'm so in. I love cooking. I think a cooking show would be really cool, even if it's like just a little thing we do for members, something like that. But that's one of those things that just takes time. But if we could pull something off, that'd be cool.
I have heard that Julia's cookies are quite legendary.
They are in fact. Basically everything Julia makes is legendary.
That's really sweet of you to say.
Okay, well, it's
Yeah.
the truth. Okay, I'm going to get this question out. I've said Jaren's name like 3 times and then gotten distracted by things because we have good conversation here because you're my friends. But Jaren, whose name I'm probably mispronouncing, is asking, today I watched an old Falcon 9 launch. I miss seeing the stiffener ring fall off the MVAC. Do you guys miss it too? No, I don't. And if you don't know what we're talking about, on old like up until very recently on a Falcon 9 launch, when the second stage separated, the engine started, a stiffener ring on the very large vacuum nozzle would come off and float away. I I don't really miss it. Do either of you? Julia, go first.
No. And in fact, I kind of forgot that was a thing. Sorry.
Adrian, do you miss it?
Do you know this meme of like I hate you, I didn't think about you at all? That's me right now. Like until this moment, I didn't think about the stiffener ring, since it was gone. Yeah, I still think it shows how of the little details SpaceX still tries to eliminate to get this one more payload, and we have seen that because they were able to increase Starlinks on the Falcon 9 because they saved a bit more weight and got a bit more performance.
Right.
So there you go. I think that's totally a thing.
Yeah, I mean, they're just constant little tweaks that we can't really even see necessarily. I'm sure are ongoing with Falcon. I mean, Falcon 9 is not done. Just because Starship is coming online. GeoHound65 is saying we need a Hopper cookie jar in the store. I'm just saying that out loud for GeoHound65 on their behalf because Adrian, you're here. So I did that. There you go. I think that would be cool.
That sounds like a bit of a more lead time item. I'm just saying.
Oh yeah, for sure. But it would be cool.
It's not like there's a Hopper template I can just use.
Right. Supersonic Retro Propulsion is asking, do you think Falcon serial numbers will get into the 1100s before retirement? Aren't they close already?
I mean, they're probably building that booster next year, right?
Yeah. Like, what's the newest booster? Is it in the 90s? I'm trying to remember.
I wish we had a Spanish person in the back channel that could say that.
I know,
He's
right?
typing.
I know, right? Unless he's just typing to troll me. Yeah, Alex
Yeah,
says
early 90s.
Early 90s. So yeah, absolutely. I think Falcon serial numbers will probably get into the maybe 1200s. I think that's plausible. What do you think, Adrian?
Yeah, I think very much. I mean, at some point you will have to see a reduction of that rate, probably coming. But overall, I mean, it's coming. I'm more for how would we pronounce that? So right now we say B1069, right? That's how we say it. How would we say that? Do we say B1101?
Oh.
Did we
I
say
think.
B1100? So go ahead, Julia.
Yeah, maybe.
As someone who's going to have to say that or not say that, I think it's 11. I think we're going to have to say like 1101, 1121. Yeah, that feels best.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree. The future is bright. All right, so prop load is underway. There has been a little bit of condensation visible. So that is good news. T-minus 27 minutes and change to go. This is going to be a good one. Julia, still, can we get a cloud report? Are we still looking good on cloud cover?
Oh yeah, we're looking good. We got a lot of blue sky, it looks like, for this flight. There's some lower kind of wispy clouds, but nothing that's going to get in our way.
Excellent. Lorelei Wolkins is asking, what keeps the booster and rocket attached until separation, or is it just sitting on it? No, there's definitely latches, right?
Yeah, there's latches between the stages. Sometimes it's bolts, explosive bolts, that are basically ignited and separate the stages. Sometimes it's just a mechanical clamp. Depends a bit on the rocket, but usually there's some sort of connector. Which is, to be fair, not that powerful usually because they don't need to be that powerful. Because as you said, like in theory, it's being held intact quite good by the gravity itself, but it at least helps it steer.
Yeah, in Falcon 9, the stage set mechanism it does not use explosive bolts, just because reusability.
Yep, it's just a mechanical. Just the mechanicals also, like, yeah.
Steve is asking, how many times have these fairing halves flown? Do we know, Julia? It's so hard with these, right?
To be fair, the only way we know is when SpaceX tells us on their stream. There's no other way to tell. There's no markings on them. Yeah. So when SpaceX comes on live, they may tell us, and then we can answer that for you.
Fingers crossed. Chat, keep your questions coming. We're getting some good ones today.
What did you all have for breakfast?
I didn't, but I'm going to make pancakes.
Nice.
Pancakes sound good. I was definitely not a good girl. I did not eat breakfast. I've been munching on chips in the car.
2 Red Bulls.
2.
So we have nothing so far, chips in the car, and 2 Red Bulls. Going great, guy.
Hey, at least I'm not going to have a heart attack from the Red Bulls. Just
I
saying.
meant to get a Red Bull, though, is the problem. I just forgot before the stream started, and now I'm immobilized. Which I say out loud, both to the stream, to you two on the stream, and to the 2 people sitting in the room with me.
Oh,
Yes.
those poor babies. But at least you have access to a bathroom, like where I am. If I need the little girl's room, I am not close, so I'm definitely more held hostage than you.
Yeah, that's fair. Oh, that takes me back to the days of standing around Isla Blanca Park waiting for a hop.
Good times.
Good times.
I miss the hops.
I do miss the hops, but you know what, Adrian? We're almost back to the world where we get to see Starship's belly flop. Thank you so much, Max, for bringing me a Red Bull. How did you know I wanted one? We're so close to seeing a Starship belly flop back towards the pad again, which I am so excited for. Let's see. Yeah, Amiga Clone saying the center core of Falcon Heavy for Europa Clipper was B1089, which makes sense. Taggart says, Gwyn said Falcon will fly for 6 to 8 more years. What will be the final launch count? Let's go around and speculate wildly. Adrian, speculate first.
I need to do some math. Can you give me that last, because I will not speculate.
You're actually gonna do math. Okay, I will babble for a moment. I'm gonna go with, let's see, like roughly 150 a year for 6 to 8 more years. I think somewhere in the 700-800s. Julia, what do you think?
Like per year, where are we going to level out?
No. What will the Falcon rockets like total launch number be when it's all said and done as a program, as a system?
Oh my God.
Alex in the back channel is saying well over 1,000 launches total. I think that's
like
possible.
this isn't going anywhere anytime soon. I know everybody's a fan of the big Starship, but this is a workhorse that has proven it's reliable, and there will be customers for it that aren't necessarily right for something as big as Starship. So I don't even know when to say the program's going to be totally gone, because I still see a use for it even when Starship starts going.
Yeah, and like you said, it's a workhorse, and it's funny. There's all these companies that are small sat launchers, and I sort of wonder, how it shakes out, because SpaceX does do the transporter missions if you have a small sat, and it's kind of like with Starship. Does Falcon 9 like stick around once Starship is fully and completely operational, and Falcon 9 ends up being the equivalent of a small sat launcher once Starship has completely changed the game? Who knows? But yeah, it's not going anywhere anytime soon. Interesting to think about, though, and a good question from Taggart there.
I have my answer. So we are right now. So we are assuming we have 397, I think, somewhere in the close to 400. I'm not Alex. Then I assumed 2 more years at 150-ish. Then I assumed 1 year at 125, 1 at 100, 1 at 100, 1 at 75, 75, and 50.
You did a taper. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Basically, it's going down. Like it's at some point decreasing, right? So I arrive at 1,222.
Say that again.
1,222.
Wow. That is the most Adrian answer. Thank you, Adrian. That was delightful.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. I have a bet that goes exactly against that, but now that I looked at it, I'm so stupid to bet on that bet. I just noticed. So I have with some friends. I discussed about which will. So right now, Falcon 9 is not the most flown rocket of all time. That title belongs to a certain Soyuz.
Right.
And the question was, which rocket will reach Soyuz level first, Falcon 9 or Starship? And I stupidly said Starship. So there you go. By the way, to deflect from that, there's vent.
There is the T-minus 20-minute vent. Hooray. That means everything is progressing as usual with today's launch. Adrian, what are we seeing here with this vent?
So, in comparison to the booster gets fueled on RP1 and liquid oxygen at the same time. That is not the case for the second stage. The second stage basically fuels RP1 first and then transitions to LOX. And this is basically the chill down of that LOX because there's a bit of a difference between and the preparation for loading LOX because in the end, LOX is quite cold, so you chill down the lines and you purge the lines in preparation to load the second stage with LOX in 3 minutes and 20 seconds from now, where they will then put basically that final fourth tank of Falcon 9 to its use.
Good deal. Under 20 minutes to go. Coming up on 19 minutes to go. Hooray. Let's see. Matt K is asking, when a company gets funding for their rocket, is that money given up front or upon delivery of a payload? Sometimes there's like you pay a certain amount up front and then you pay a certain amount more once the payload is delivered.
So there's a lot of economy that will start to go into this as well because payment terms is a whole ball of wax of any economy and any any company. However, there's a difference here between a contract to deliver a payload, which is more of a very commercial use of a rocket, but there are also development contracts with the hope to develop payloads. There's, for example, a lot of NASA funding contracts. They are more funding the development as in the final goal. Look at the Commercial Crew Program. Yes, the goal of the Commercial Crew Program was in the end to get out a capsule and a system that NASA could use and buy more times. But the main goal of that contract was to develop that capsule. So, of course, that money would go in earlier stages and usually milestone based because SpaceX needs that money to develop the capsule. Like there would be no use to give that money all at the end. So it's a bit of a complicated question. I would assume that there are very different payment terms because this is still a very very low amount of contract industry. So the payment terms are probably very dependent on each mission and each contract. But for these research and development programs, usually money flows first. Sorry.
No, you're good. I was trying to think of something snarky to say, but I haven't had 2 Red Bulls like you, so I don't have my spice ready to go. I'm sorry. David Prado is asking, what do you think is the biggest limiting factor to launch rate? Rockets, drone ships, pad, or erector?
Well, drone ships, sort of. Flipping the pad because the pads are going to take, at some point, they're going to need, just maintenance. When you launch this much, your TE, your flame trench, your connections may need a little bit more TLC than what they just get between launches. So between drone ship and I see Alex in the background and 100% agree. Weather can be a bitch.
And also second stage production rate, as we know, right? Like
yeah,
there's basically SpaceX tries to scale everything at once, and there's a lot of factors that they have to if they have to consider to even get to their launch rate they want to. But of course, for example, a hurricane taking down the Cape for like a week, not helping.
Yeah, hurricane season is not to be trifled with. There's a lot of considerations that go into what it takes to do launch, even just from like airspace restrictions and things. Like you can't launch around Thanksgiving because so many people are traveling by air. But there's a recent Eric Berger article over on Ars talking about the future of Starship. Just to bring it back to Starship again, I know, I'm sorry. And I keep saying this, I keep telling people about this because it blew my mind. One of the things in that article was that, I forget who the quote was from, it might have been Kathy Leaders, but basically 4 Starship launches in a single day. Like let's assume there's 2 pads at the Cape and 2 pads here in Starbase, and they're trying to send up tanker ships real fast to fill up a depot for an HLS mission. 4 Starship launches in a single day would deplete the entire United States liquid oxygen generation capacity for that day.
Yep.
That is
Wow.
bonkers. So it's things that you might not even consider. Like that's not even hardware related to the rocket. That's not like the rocket's computer messed up or a valve leaked or that. It's just how do we get enough liquid oxygen to the places that it needs to be? How do we make enough liquid oxygen and then get it to yeah, I don't know. I pass so many tanker trucks up and down Highway 4 bringing the commodities in, and I'm like, at a certain point, that's got to be a limiting factor, at least for Starbase.
I mean,
yeah.
realistically, you're talking about a chemical plant, some sort of like in a huge fashion, very close to the launch infrastructure, always connected by pipeline. Otherwise, you will not be able to sustain this.
Yeah,
This is
which is exactly what SpaceX was trying to do a couple of years ago, and then seemingly abandoned. And maybe we'll see them,
Yep.
return to efforts in that vein at some point.
And just to add to that one thing they tested, imagine like hundreds of these, and
Right.
like a huge chemical like station supporting Starship. That's
and
what they would need to launch like 4 times a day.
And when people, when people ask questions like we've had on this stream, like when do you think they're going to retire Falcon 9 and things like that? It's like, well, there's a variety of things around Starship that need to happen in order to enable it, and Falcon 9 is going to be around for a long time. The scale of Starship is almost to its detriment in some ways.
I still think that companies that are right now trying to develop a fully reusable smaller vehicle have a very valid market claim. This is, for example, Stoke, to name one. I think if they get to the point where they can develop a vehicle that is able to launch 5 tons to orbit fully reusable, I think that's a very, very legitimate market concept. To have a smaller rocket also able to launch fully reusable instead of using a 150 ton capability launch vehicle.
Right. Yeah. I'm a big fan of Stoke. I'm excited to see what they do. What a cool company. What a cool rocket design. Like, come on. Like liquid cooled heat shield. Let's go.
Yeah.
Crazy aerospike engine, the second stage. Let's go.
Yeah, I think props given to Rocket Lab and to Stoke because they at least try with Neutron and of course Stoke with their regenerative heat shield. They try something different, right? They try finding a different market, a different approach, and I think that's cool.
It is. I agree.
You know what's cool?
What's cool, Julia?
Hey, so Jack, I know you will probably be the most appreciative of this, but the person who is watching with me today is Poppy Northcutt, and she's about to watch her first launch since Apollo 13. So this is her Falcon 9 first launch experience. How cool is that?
Oh my goodness. I don't even.
Yeah. Right? So I just took a break from commentary so I could give her the rundown on that booster and where to look once we start launching.
Wow.
I made Jack speechless, and I'm kind of happy about that.
Yeah,
But for y'all who are listening, Poppy Northcutt, she is the woman who was the very first woman to work in mission control. And she worked for a third-party contractor. She was very much a part of getting our astronauts around the moon for the first time during Apollo 8 and bringing them home during Apollo 13. So she became a lawyer, women's rights and civil rights activist, and is still active as a election judge in Harris County, Texas.
amazing. I'm super happy you get to have Poppy alongside you for today's launch. Hopefully, it's an absolutely beautiful one. I only wish it was an RTLS.
I do too, but that's okay. And hopefully I get a shot with my camera here so that we can send her a picture home of this launch today.
Nice. Oh man, that's just so cool. Thank you for letting us know about that. Ramraj, thank you for the support, and Lawson, thank you for grabbing a Flight 6 patch from the store. They say thank you for all you guys do. I got accepted into Embry-Riddle earlier this year, and will be pursuing a degree in aerospace engineering. Godspeed, NSF. Holy cow, Lawson! Congratulations.
Congratulations, Lawson.
Really, really cool. You know who else went to Embry-Riddle? Someone named Thomas Berghardt.
And actually, I just was at Embry-Riddle listening to Poppy speak as part of their honor series. So not the first time I've been visiting there at Embry, and it's a great campus, y'all.
That is awesome. Thank you so much for the kind words, Lawson. Enjoy the patch. And do good in school. Let's do some more questions. Stephen Lewis is asking, is it true they are scrapping Ship 26?
Yes.
Hey, quiet on the set. Quiet on the set. We're professionals here, okay? D and Max. Yeah, they are scrapping Ship 26, much to many people's chagrin. But so it goes. That's Starbase for you. For everybody out there who had hope that Ship 26 was something that was like a tanker or a lunar prototype or something like that, and is now bummed out, I submit that there will be a version 2 or version 3 class ship without flaps built in the relatively near future that will be actually really cool. So have hope. There will be a V2 Ship 26 successor. Do not fret.
There's a certain person called EJ in the chat calling you out for the use of the word "we are professionals." Just saying. Just saying.
Moving right along. Adrian Bideford's asking if Flight 6 patches have shipped yet.
No. Just to let me just point this out, and that was also note in the page as well. We are working on getting them to warehouse, and they will start to ship right away when the warehouse receives them. But with SpaceX increasing their flight cadence more and more, there's just not a way for us to have them in the warehouse when the flight happens. They are approximately shipping in a week or two from now at max. We expect shipping to commence in the first week of December. There you go. Jack is talking while muted.
Okay, that time I was actually talking while muted.
Oh, I will not call you out for what I just was about to say.
No, I was actually, I have witnesses. I was talking while muted. Stephanie Goldsmith is asking, do you consider Flight 6 a fail? I do. No, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
I was about to jump in your face.
In space relight. Huge.
Yeah.
Huge.
I mean, honestly, I wouldn't consider a Falcon 9 that doesn't have a landing a fail. Like, it still completes its primary mission. Julia, would you, if a booster fails to land, is that a failed mission for you if the payload reaches the orbit?
If the payload reaches orbit, it is a failed mission? No.
No,
if the
mission. Yeah, basically, because the prime thing is still the satellite, right? So
Right. It would be a completed mission, but it would be a failed secondary mission because in the end, recovery is secondary, although recovery is a very necessary thing for them to keep the cadence going, right?
Yeah.
Right.
I think partial success or partial failure is the wording that next spaceflight uses, and I think I could agree with that with Falcon. With Starship, I mean they always communicate how low the chances they command for catch. So no, that mission was a success on their set parameters.
Mark Mapplebeck is asking, is there going to be a 2025 calendar?
Working on it, having some path backups on the way where we'll get there hopefully. I don't have an update to share.
Stephanie Goldsmith, again, she got all kind of good questions today, asking, is there a way for SpaceX to economically recover the second stage? If not, what is a way they could if money wasn't an issue? I don't know, like some kind of big inflatable heat shield, like aeroshell kind of thing? There isn't a way for them to economically recover the second stage, which is why they've gone all in on Starship.
Yeah.
Remember when there was going to be like a mini Starship thing on top of a Falcon 9? Did I hallucinate that, or was that a real thing at one point?
I think it
You mean-
was. Go ahead, Julia.
I was gonna say, you mean like a mini X-37B kind of deal, but Starship? I'm trying
Yeah.
to envision this.
Yeah, just like a weird idea for a reusable second stage on a Falcon 9. I don't know. I'm barely remember. This is like years ago.
You run in all kinds of problems with that because right now the Falcon 9. So just to give a quick scope of what would need to be redesigned. So the tanks, of course, you're all different mass.
Wait.
Go ahead with that. You need flaps if you want to have the second stage like to land, because flaps would help you steer. And also the engine is a huge problem because you're powered by a single Merlin vacuum engine, which is not really suited for any suborbital steering. So you probably need to size that. You're basically building mini shuttle at some point. So you're basically designing a second stage, a whole new second stage.
At which point, just design Starship.
Yeah.
Julia, do we let you do camera things?
I'm still good, but you know what? I think I'm going to take your offer to be able to take my headset off for just a couple minutes, and that would be awesome. So I will see y'all on the other side and hopefully get you some great views of this rocket going downrange.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Julia. We will see you on the other side. Travis Cecil says, 26 gone. Now how do we get rid of stubby nozzles? Do we know if there's a stubby nozzle on today's mission or not, Adrian?
Absolutely not. Stubby nozzle, any argument about it by side is
Stage 1,
still
lock
a
load is
nozzle
complete.
that balances economic viability with loss of performance. And these Starlink missions need all the performance they can get.
So no stubby, which is good. In about 15 seconds here, we are going to see another vent, Adrian. Right?
Yep.
Just like the T-minus 20-minute vent, right?
Right? Yeah, they're wrapping up of that. You prompted that vent so hard. Yes, there's another vent coming up here that will basically signal the purging of the TE.
Stage
because
2,
you don't
lock
want
load
any.
is complete.
There
There you go. Should come up any second now, and there it is. Because you don't want flammable things in your TE when you launch a rocket next to it. That's usually bad for your TE. So what they do is they remove these pesky flammable things.
All right, we're getting into
Gas closeouts.
go time. At a minute to go, Falcon 9's onboard computers will take control. And if they see anything they don't like, they...
That call-up was too perfect.
What?
We are getting into ground-out closeout. That was like the perfect timing. SpaceX completed your sentence.
Nice. Here we go.
Here we go, indeed. Now waiting for the go for the launch director.
Falcon 9 is in startup.
There we go. It's so hard. I don't want to talk over the nets. I always love hearing them.
10 seconds to go for
Go
the
for launch.
There it
There
is.
we are.
Falcon 9 is go for launch. All right. Keep your eyes on the base. I wonder if we'll see how the heat distortion will affect our view of ignition. This is going to be a cool one. This is going to be a really beautiful one. Here we go. 10 seconds. Watch for it. There's ignition. And liftoff of B-1069-20 on the Starlink 6-66 mission. Beautiful. You can see it ascending there from the press site. Let's listen in. Beautiful shot of Ascent there. Is that Gauge tracking? Who's tracking this one? There's that side profile we were talking about.
Yeah, I think this is Gauge. And Gauge and Julia. Like
There's the audio.
You're getting.
Falcon 9 going transonic. You can see the exhaust plume expanding, but this time from side profile as the vehicle ascends into thinner and thinner atmosphere. Go ahead, Adrian.
You could hear how much ground winds were today on our audio because we tried to bring you the audio, but it was just too much ground winds. So you could hear how much, and there was some visible movement on the SpaceX, like on the rocket, from the ground winds. So this seems to be not that low of ground winds.
Wow. Look at that beautiful plume. Southeast trajectory ain't all bad.
There, quote him on that.
Put it in the ticker.
He's the second out of context Jack Bayer quote in the ticker in 24 hours.
All right, what are we going to see next, Adrian?
The next thing we are going to see is, of course, a MECO, which is main engine cutoff, which is where the 9 Merlin engines shut down in a stage sequence, and then the first and second stage will say goodbye to each other, which they just did. And there's the beautiful normal Merlin vacuum nozzle. Without any shade. I'm not throwing any shade. I'm just pointing out facts. And it should glow wonderful red in a second here.
It's orange.
There it comes. And it's orange.
All right. Second stage doing its thing, pushing those Starlink satellites into orbit. First stage doing its thing and getting ready to come back and land on a Shortfall Gravitas. There goes the fairing here in just a second.
Yeah, beautiful Starlinks.
Oh, let's go. I love that shot every single time.
It's always crazy for me how naked these fairings are on Starlink missions, because you can see all kinds of different hardware that is important for customer missions.
Right.
But these Starlinks are more built to basically be shipped in a van, kinda. Yeah. So they're built to sustain, so they don't need a lot of assisted hardware.
These views today are just gorgeous. Absolutely fantastic. Look at the limb of the Earth there. You can see the cape, says Max, with a mouthful of M&Ms. Booster coming back, orienting itself.
Stages are following
for the
nominal
entry
trajectories.
burn. And you just heard that call out. Both vehicles are following nominal trajectories. Excellent.
Normal ice also on the second stage, which is good. Everything looking good so far.
Fantastic.
And of course, this warp rocket does feature an entry burn, which will happen in about a minute from now, and
Right,
will be used to slow itself down. Go ahead.
Unlike Starship and Super Heavy not doing an entry burn because it's made out of steel and can just sort of take it. Falcon 9 has to do an entry burn. So yeah, we'll be seeing that here shortly. Was it, Adrian? They start up one engine and then they start up 2 more, so they burn with 3, and then they shut down the 2 and they finish with 1. Is that the typical entry burn profile?
Yep, that's about that's 131. Also, SpaceX confirming that these fairings are the fleet leaders with 21 flights. If I understand that correctly.
Nice.
Wonderful, wonderful job here. You can see the 0G cables.
Yeah, right. Those are the cables that I assume allow the second stage to communicate with the first stage, like wired connection. That would be my guess. I always wondered what those are. Oh, no, I'm wrong. Alex says those are for engine bleed lines. Neat.
Wonderful.
So they're not cables, they're tubes.
And the entry burn about to come up. The interesting thing always is you can see that it first forms a circle because it's just the center engine pushing the thrust out equally, and then it will transition to the 3 engines, which there you go, which will then form a line.
Stage 1 entry burn start up.
No longer like. So there's the 1, and it will transition to 3 now.
And then it'll get
you can
less.
See the line,
right?
Yep, it takes a bit, but it will shut down to 1 and then stop.
Stage 1 entry burn shutdown.
There's 1 and done. Interesting, really interesting how Falcon 9
Nominal
utilizes supersonic
Stage 2
retro
FTS
propulsion
is saved.
to protect itself from the heat of entry. What's colder than entry plasma? Turns out rocket exhaust. So if you're enveloped in that, it's keeps you safe somehow. Gotta love it. All right, watch the speed. Watch the speed on the booster. I always love doing this. It's just absolutely scrubbing off. You can see the altitude. It's falling like a stone. Meanwhile, second stage on the right-hand side is just hauling the mail, climbing up in altitude steadily and just piling on the velocity. Because that's how you get to space.
Stage 1 transonic.
It'll be on Twitter too, anyway.
Here we go.
Well, of course.
Coming down through the cloud layer. What do you think, Adrian? They're going to stick the landing?
Yes.
I think so.
I feel like at this point you're quite trying to predict something weird if you're saying no.
We just had a Starship flight without a booster catch. You know?
Stage 1 landing burn.
There's the drone chip. There's the drone chip.
At that. I don't know that we've ever seen it from that far up before. Oh, no, it froze. No, it froze. That would have been
there it
sick.
comes.
Yes, it's back. Oh, it froze.
Stage 1 landing leg deploy.
Oh, it's back. What a shot.
Touchdown right in the center.
Stage 1 landing confirmed.
Sorry, bingo right in the center.
Is that you guys really gonna meme that one too?
Yes.
Not every dumb thing I say has to be memed. You know that, right?
Oh, absolutely yes.
All right, well, Falcon 9 B1069-20 now sitting on a shortfall of Gravitas over by the Bahamas. Someone get it a mark.
MVAC shut down.
My tie. And there you go. MVAC shut down on the second stage. Hooray, SpaceX. That was
and good orbit.
an excellent launch. Now we have more Starlink satellites in orbit. Julia, do we have you back? Maybe not yet. Well, that was fantastic. Eric Souter, thank you for becoming a Red Team member. We appreciate you. We can't do this without the membership program, so thank you so much. Whew, that was a good one.
Absolutely. That looked quite picture perfect for them. Also, beginning of the window, so somebody probably gonna be delighted that they didn't take that much time.
Yeah, right. Some really good tracks on that one. Some of those, I don't know which one Gage was on, but I've been told to say it was Gage-tacular. So there you go. It was. Gage is good. Huh. Well, I think with that we should start to wrap up. Adrian, thanks for being on, buddy.
Yeah, absolutely. This was a very nice experience, and I love the different angle for liftoff. That really created some amazing shots here, and great job tracking everybody. That was fun.
Yeah, I mean, can we do replays? Can we do replays? I mean, I didn't know if we were able to support replays today or not, but if we can, I would like to see that Gage-tacular track again. Stand by, Carson says. All right, false ending. Haha, gotcha.
Cool. Then I will get the second chance to butcher my my goodbye.
In the meantime, we'll do a couple questions. Let's see.
By the way, next up from the Cape, quick preview from Alex here, will be Starlink Group 12-1. So there we go. And he says, and then Group 6-76 because SpaceX can't count.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, just to give you, when people are asking, like, are Starlinks in order? No. Because our last group Starlinks were 77, then 69, then 68, now 66.
I'm trying to chat. You got some questions? Give us some questions. Of course, Real Foggy's asking, what are the 4 towers for? Adrian, go.
To hold the cables of lightning protection. They are there's a cage basically around that pad where the lights the potential lightning would hit the pad and not the rocket, because you don't want to hit your rocket with lightning strike unless you Soyuz. Then
yeah.
I mean,
Julia, did we have you back? Are you there?
I'm here.
Hi.
Hello.
How was it?
It was fabulous. It was a good launch. It was pretty till the sun got in my eyes. So but that's okay. We got a great view of liftoff.
Westy wanted me to ask you how Poppy found the launch.
She enjoyed it very much.
Yay!
Yay! Yes.
We got to get her out to a Falcon Heavy or to an RTLS.
Yeah, most definitely. And I've already sent her the picture of the launch. Like I said, it was a beautiful day with nice clear skies. So.
Yay! Awesome.
Yay.
How was the sound?
Sounded pretty good. I unfortunately, I think, still had my comms earphones on, but for the rest of those around me, it sounded great. Yeah, right. I know. Those noise canceling headphones. Yeah, silly.
Let's see. That diabetic kid is saying, why does Flight Club say Starlink 11-2, but Next Spaceflight says Starlink 9-13 at the same launch time? That's an Alex question. Ask Alex. Is Alex in chat? Alex says he has no idea. Sorry. Mr. Icans, thank you for becoming a PadRat member. And Deborah Hall becoming a PadRat member. Now you have member emoji, plus a bunch of other stuff. I'm gonna throw some star hoppers in chat because I also have member emoji. All right, let's do a couple replays. Heck yeah. Here's one from one of our port cams. So cool to see a booster sitting there while another one flies into space. You can also see one of the recovery ships there. I think that's gonna be Bob. Is that right, Julia? Is that Bob in port right now? Julia?
Julia gone.
Oh, sad noises. Alex confirms it's Bob.
Hey, Bob.
So this is kind of a cool shot because it
shows the rocket flying away.
Well, yes, because it shows the rocket flying. No, also because it's kind of like what you would see with your own two eyes, like unaided, which I appreciate.
Absolutely.
Also, hi, Bob. Yes, I have.
Would you recommend?
I have finally binged through For All Mankind.
Would you recommend for the first rocket launch that the person witnesses to always just witness it through their own eyes?
Yep. Like if you have to have some kind of documentation on your phone of the launch itself, then put your phone in a tripod thingy or prop it up with a cup or something on a backpack and hit record, but just watch it with your eyes. Just watch it. At least the first one. Just watch it with your eyes. It's so rare that I get a chance to do that because I'm looking at screens trying to make sure cameras are pointed the right way. And, every now and then I'll steal a glimpse. So all y'all out there that don't have to actually work during a launch, take advantage of the fact that you get to actually just sit there and watch it and soak it in. That's kind of special. I wonder what that's like. I haven't done that in a long time.
You should do that again.
How? I'm working.
I know. But okay, yeah, please don't do that again.
Oh, this is a cool little deal there.
That's a really cool shot. That's very unique. That's a shot.
Good job, Ryan. I think that was Ryan on this one.
Yeah. It was a Mr. Map track.
I was gonna say we're gonna have to start calling him Mr. Track. I was gonna be nice. I wasn't gonna say it.
You're a bigger man than I am.
Marvin Who with a super chat. Thank you, buddy. They're asking, do we always know for what part or country of the world they launch these Starlinks? That's not really like previously when a company like, I don't know, Hughes or something would launch a telecom sat. It was like a giant monolithic thing that would go to a very high orbit and park there, like a geostationary orbit, park there and then serve a portion of the Earth. And it's like, this satellite is going to be TV and internet for, South America or something like that. That is not how Keith Tag in chat says, just don't call him Mr. Lanyard. I think the people that went to the UK meetup are gonna know that one. But yeah, that's not how Starlink works. Starlink is a mega constellation. It's a giant distributed shell. The satellites can talk to each other. So it's kind of like, yes, you depending on your. Oh, that's a cool shot. Depending on where you are on Earth, this is the gauge-tacular. This is the gauge goodness.
You said the word.
I did. That's the third time. I hope I made EJ happy.
The grackle track.
Trackle.
The trackle. Oh, I'm not sure.
Good job, Gage.
Wow. Cool.
Yeah. You can just see when the sound
There was
hits
no clouds.
It was a really beautiful launch.
Yeah. Kind of sad that this isn't an RTLS. It would have been amazing.
Oh man, I love RTLSs. I'm so bummed that for Flight 6 we didn't get the sonic boom again and the booster catch again, because holy cow, I need more of that sonic boom in my life, like desperately.
Don't we all need more sonic booms in our life?
Yes. More boom, more better.
Yep.
Wait, like, and in parentheses, sonic. Has to be booms of the sonic variety. Really
There
beautiful
goes
track here. Zooming in on the expanded plume.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good deal. Good day for more Starlinks to head into space. Marvin Hu, thanks again for the support. And Evelyn, thank you for the support as well. Grabbing in some stickers from the shop. They say, thank you for your great channel. Thank you so much, Evelyn.
Ooh. I love this plume. I love how you can see less and less engine and more smoke when they go up.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. There's stage
And
SEP.
And
second stage.
There
Going
it is.
away. Good
Whee!
stuff. Yeah, wee into space. That's technically how that works. Oh, look. What's that? Another piece of Ship 26.
Yep.
R.I.P.
It's
Ship
going.
26. R.I.P.
Do I always hear like sad noises in the background when we talk about Ship 26? It's
Yeah, no, every time there's like two gasps or like two really sad frowny faces sitting in front of me as Max and D realize what's going on. Oh man, they're not taking their time with this. Or they're not going. Yeah, they're going fast.
Even SpaceX wanted to get rid of it fast.
And here's a replay of Julia's shot. Beautiful.
Yeah, tomorrow's the Flame Trench episode, and I bet you that there will be some talk about this, because I think there's some Ship 26 enjoyers on that.
You know the meme of the angry, that's like an angry white cat with like its ears back?
Yes.
One of us is going to be that, and the other one is going to be like the angry pointing lady who's like yelling. It's just going to be that all Flame Trench. Really beautiful track from Julia.
SpaceX is not taking any time with this, by the way, because the strongback is already up again.
I mean, if you want to hit 150 launches a year, you can't just be waiting around to raise your strongback and start getting to work on getting the pad ready for another one.
Will be crazy once the turnaround for any pads in the future goes below like a day, and you see like a day like a rocket launch of twice a day from the same pad.
Right.
That's gonna be crazy.
Gonna be awesome. It's gonna be awesome. There's that plume. Always love that part of launch. Same thing happens with Starship. It's really beautiful. Just seeing the sound waves reverberate through that plume. It's not quite as pronounced with Falcon 9. I wonder if that's just because Starship's way bigger. Or maybe it's up to different propellant types. I don't know.
And I mean, everything is like a bit more pronounced and bigger with Starship, I guess.
Is Falcon 9 at this point in flight doing like a dog leg? It kind of looks like it's dog legging.
I think it is a bit like it's starting to south steer a bit.
Neat. That's always really cool to see. All right. Well, I think we will wrap things up here. Julia, thank you so much for rolling out and bringing us a excellent track. If you're there, are you there?
I'm here.
Yay.
I'm so sorry. One of the casualties of being in the field is people see you, they see you with the equipment, figure you might know something about what's going on, and they talk. So
Oh, trust me, I know all about
I'm back.
that.
It's all good. It's part of what we do.
Indeed. Well, thank you once again for bringing us this this track. It was good stuff, and we love you, and we hope you have a great rest of your day.
Thank you all, and thanks everybody for joining us.
And Adrian, thank you as well for being on.
Absolutely, that was fun. And I'm looking forward to more Falcon 9s and potentially New Glenn very soon.
Can't wait. Cannot wait for New Glenn. Also, thanks to Gage and Ryan C. for tracking with cams. Thank you to Carson for operating the stream. And of course, if you want to stay on top of everything that's going on, be sure to follow the socials wherever you get your social media, whether it's X, the Everything app, or Instagram, or Facebook, or whatever. Just a good way to keep track of what's coming up, what's going on, and any kind of breaking news. Plus, as we continue with the deluge of Flight 6 content, you're going to want to stay tuned. So, yeah. All right, well, I think with that, we'll call it. I'm Jack for NSF. Thank you all for watching, and we'll see you guys on the next one.
And here we go. We have liftoff. Propulsion continues to be normal.
R68 chamber pressure looks good.
Doubling up. Roger, with planet.
Water towers, fly! Yes! Tango down to nominal.
Flight downside SPD off. Bring in SPD off. It's orange!
45! Oh my god! Oh my god!
Decollage. Put that in the big bag,
343 unfolds to go.
Indeed.
We rise together back to the moon and beyond.
This methane will be igniting in the flare, correct?